Hi, I'm Dr. Doug Perednia from DoCurious. I'd like to invite you to do the Apple Pie Challenge today. The Apple Pie Challenge has a mission of making an apple pie from scratch, except that you can use pre-made pie shells. This challenge is a see one, do one, teach one challenge. That means that I'm going to show you how to do it. You should then be able to do it and then show someone else how to do it. Why do this challenge? Because frankly, everybody ought to know how to make an apple pie. It's not particularly difficult, but what happens if all the apple pie factories suddenly shut down? What will you do for apple pie? The other thing is that apple pie is the all-American dessert. So if you live in the United States, or if you don't live in the United States, you still ought to be able to make an apple pie. Okay, the basic ingredients are pretty elementary, actually. You need some apples. These particular apples we actually got off of a tree on the side of the road. We live in the Pacific Northwest, and there are actually lots of abandoned trees and orchards. You're going to need some pie shells. You're welcome to make your own pie dough, but it's a long process. I find it a pain in the neck, and I don't have time, so we're going to say it's okay to use pre-made. You need salt, butter, cinnamon, lemon juice, flour, sugar, and the recipe. You're also going to need a pie plate. We have here a glass pie plate. It's about 9 inches. I tend to put mine on a baking pan so that if the pie spills, the juice spills out of the pie, then it'll end up on a piece of aluminum foil, which is relatively easy to clean up. But really, that's all that's required. The first thing we have to do is, of course, peel and slice the apples. That includes getting rid of the core. Now, we're going to do this in 2 ways. So we're going to start by using a hand peeler and a fruit knife to cut this up. So let's take a short period of time, take the hand peeler, we go around the apple, and as you can see, with small apples like these, you could do this for hours. In fact, if you do a pie or applesauce with a lot of small apples like this, you literally do it for hours. Then you take and you're going to cut the apple. I would suggest that if you're young, you ask your parents first before cutting things up like this. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to cut out this core part. Okay, and then you end up slicing them kind of in thinly like this. Okay, this is demonstration number 1 because this is one way to do it. So now I am going to show you a different way of doing it that we actually just discovered fairly recently when my daughter got me a present. Okay, this is another way to core, cut, and peel apples, and it's called the Johnny Apple Peeler. I don't have stock in this, I don't sell this, but this is an amazing invention, like an incredible invention. So what it does, it consists of something to hold the apple. There's a cutting blade here, also kind of a cutting blade here for the core. And then this is a peeling blade. And the way you use this is actually very clever. So what you do is you bring this, you pull this lever back, bring the apple holder all the way down. You actually go ahead and seal that to the counter. And then you take an apple, well, we'll pick a random apple like this guy, and you stick it on the peeler. And then you go like this. Watch this. It is absolutely astonishing. It does everything I just did in about, like, I don't know, 10 seconds, something like that. The apple is completely peeled. It's now in pieces. And so to get your pieces into the pie, you simply cut it like this, which is absolutely astonishing. And then the core is left like that. And you just check that out. Actually, there's a little bit of extra apple you could get off. So that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and do the rest of these apples and get them all ready for the pie. Now, how many apples do you use? The recipe here calls for 2.5 pounds of apples, but another way of doing it is by a measuring cup. So typically, the average apple pie supposedly calls for about 5 cups of apples. I actually use about 10 cups of apples because it ends up with a thicker pie that way. Okay, we've got all the apples peeled and cored and sliced. This is actually about 10 cups. That's about twice as much as it calls for. And again, we'll see why that has advantages and disadvantages. But I want to talk briefly about the apples themselves. You can really use any apple for apple pie. That a lot of people use Granny Smith apples because they're slightly sour. And the interesting thing about that is that sometimes if you just use apples and you that are not sour, that are, say, sweet, and you add sugar, it comes out with a very bland pie. And the contrast of sweet with sour is something that is very pleasant. I mean, and it's repeated in a lot of ingredients. So there's, sweet and sour pork in Chinese cooking. And there's sweet and sour in orange juice or in lemonade. Sweet and sour is a very powerful combination. And so that's why you might choose to use Granny Smith apples either alone or in combination with other apples. Now, in our particular case, these are fairly sweet, bland apples. And so we're going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice to provide that sweet and sour contrast. And so you just pour the lemon juice and you add that in. Now, another thing we're going to add is flour. And you might ask, why are we going to add flour? We're actually going to add about 3 tablespoons of flour. I'm actually going to add a tad more because we have so many apples. And the reason for adding flour is that if you just take any fruit, whether it's apples or cherries or berries or almost anything, and you simply and you cook it, you end up with a lot of juice. And that juice runs all over the place and makes for a very liquidy pie. So the purpose of the flour is to absorb that liquid and make it more into a gravy. The thing we're going to add is a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. The cinnamon's used to provide a cinnamon flavor. That's pretty much all there is to it. Cinnamon is a ground bark of a tree. And so you're adding tree bark to your apple pie. Next thing we're going to add is 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. You add the salt because sweet and salty is also kind of a cool flavor. And the salt just adds a little bit of tingling on the tongue there. And then the other thing we're going to add is sugar. And when you're adding sugar to apple pie, you can do it in a couple of ways. One is that you can just use plain white sugar. This calls for 3/4 of a cup, but I often use a lot less sugar because the apples are sweet already. Why do you need a ton of sugar? So we're going to add about 1/3 of a cup of regular sugar here. But then in order to add some additional flavor, you can use brown sugar, which is a less highly refined version of sugar. Regular sugar. You can also use maple syrup, which will add a maple syrup flavor to the pie. But anyway, the combination of the brown sugar and the white sugar tends to be tastier than either one alone. Okay, so that's actually all the ingredients. So you've now got all the ingredients to make your pie. And the other thing you should do is you should start your oven to preheat. You want to preheat it to 425 degrees. And we simply take the ingredients and mix them up. And that's what makes apple pie so darn easy to make. I mean, this is about as difficult as it gets. And that's why everyone in the world ought to know how to make an apple pie. Okay, so this is now ready to put into the pie shells, which we are going to get next. Okay, now you should clear as you go. That's a really good habit to have in the kitchen. So as you finish using a dish, wash that dish. That way you don't have a billion dishes at the end. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take, in this case, pre-made pie crusts. I've made pie crust before. It is a labor-intensive thing, pain in the neck. I don't have time, so I suggest, it's perfectly legal to use regular pre-made pie crusts. These happen to be Pillsbury pie crusts, but there are other brands and generic pie crusts as well. So you take and basically thaw the pie crust if it started out frozen, and then stick it into the pie pan. Nothing very difficult or high-tech about this. And then we're going to stick the apples into the pie crust. And you'll see why it's advisable, in many cases, to use 5 cups of apples instead of 10 cups of apples. Because you see, there are way more apples than will fit easily into the pie crust. Now, the disadvantage of this is that you have a bloated pie. And so you end up having to try to figure out how to stuff all these apples in here, and it makes for a kind of difficult time. But the advantage of this is that all of these apples, as the pie bakes, they're going to lose much of their juice and they're going to lose their form, and so they're going to sink down. So you're going to have a thicker layer of apples on the bottom of the pie, even though it was a pain in the neck to begin with. We're then going to go ahead and take some butter and put pieces of butter on top of the apples. And the purpose of the butter is to add a little more buttery flavor to this. Okay, now what we do is we take the other pie crust, voila, stick it on top. Again, this is a very unsophisticated kind of thing. People were making apple pies long ago. And so then you want to roll the pie crust, and the purpose of this is to simply keep the juice from all leaking out, if you can help it. Because what's going to happen is the juice is going to exit the apples. It's going to go to the bottom of the pie crust, and as it bubbles, it will try to get out. So basically all we're going to do is roll this all the way around. Is flute the crust. And by fluting, what I mean is that you simply take 2 fingers and you push in between those 2 fingers with your other finger of your other hand, and that seals the crust. And the last thing we're going to do before we put this into the oven is to take and poke a few holes on the top of the crust like this, and the idea is to allow the steam to escape. Otherwise, you could have the steam kind of rupture the pie. And then we're going to put it in the oven 30 minutes at 425 degrees. And at the end of 30 minutes, we turn the temperature down to 350 degrees for another 30 to 40 minutes or so. And we will be back when that happens. Okay, the timer has rung. We have baked it for the requisite period of time. And you want to be able to show in your challenge that you're taking the pie out of the oven. Because you want to be able to prove that you actually made this, right? So we've taken the pie out of the oven. I'm going to stick it on a surface here. And as you can see, as predicted, there is juice that has spilled out of the pie. And that's why, again, it's on the aluminum foil so that it's much easier to clean up. But this should be your final result or something similar to this. Now, When you do your challenge, it's very important that you document the challenge in your challenge portfolio. That way, when you come back years from now, when someone says, "You've never made an apple pie," you can show them that, in fact, yes, you have, through photos, videos, text, audio, anything you write or create or have to demonstrate that the stages of doing the challenge and that you continued on. Now, again, this is a C1 Do and Teach One challenge. So after you make your apple pie, you want to show someone else how to make the apple pie, and that's actually the end of the challenge. So be sure to document that part too. So thanks for joining us. I hope you had a great time, and good luck. Do the challenge.